Hey, what's up, everybody? I thought I'd talk about the Money in the Bank pay-per-view and the matches, the Money in the Bank matches that took place there, as well as the Money in the Bank match itself. Now, I know a lot of people probably assume that since Money in the Bank took place last night, excuse me for a second, took place last night, that a lot of people assume that the Money in the Bank match is now just going to be, regulated to this pay-per-view. It's not going to be. Because I've been thinking about this, and I wanted to talk about this before the pay-per-view went on the air, and I figured, now is better than never. So, let me explain. And I'm pretty sure guys like J-Dub and Spinnernet and everybody else that will agree with me will, when they hear this, will agree with me. The truth is, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view is specifically made so that both brands can have their own Money in the Bank winner. See, the Money in the Bank for WrestleMania, the Money in the Bank match for WrestleMania is sort of special and unique in its own way. You see, the big difference between the Money in the Bank matches last night and the Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania is the Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania is interpromotional. In other words, you got 4 guys from Raw, 4 from SmackDown, battling it out to see who's going to get a shot at any title they choose. Now, some people may assume that, okay, the person that wins that title is going to go after the brand's title, right? No. Now, this may sound confusing, but it's not true. You see, the winner of the WrestleMania Money in the Bank match, it doesn't matter what brand they're on. If you're on SmackDown or on Raw, you could challenge for any world title. So, for example, let's say, last night, even though I didn't watch the pay-per-view, I've been watching and hearing people talking about the results and reading them myself. Let's take, for example, Miz. A lot of people marked out for this, even though his character is the kind that you want to boo, that you just love to hate and all that. The Miz won the Raw Money in the Bank, right? Here's the difference. Here's the difference between him winning that Money in the Bank and him possibly winning WrestleMania's Money in the Bank. The difference is the Miz can only cash in that briefcase on the WWE Championship. That's it. He can't cash it in on anything else. But if the Miz would have won the Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania, then the Miz would have had a choice of either the WWE title or the World Heavyweight Championship. Now this automatically means, I know it sounds confusing, but what it means is that, what winning the WrestleMania Money in the Bank means compared to winning the Money in the Bank pay-per-view Money in the Bank match is the WrestleMania one's kind of like a wrestler's own way of either staying on the brand they're on or jumping ship to another brand. I mean, take a look at Jack Swagger this past year, back in April, I believe. I mean, he tried to cash in the Money in the Bank against John Cena on Raw, which automatically makes you think, okay, he's going to stay on Raw. Okay, no problem. But then again, what does he do? Instead, he goes to SmackDown the next night at the taping, which was seen on the Friday afterwards, and what's he do? He cashes it in on a wounded Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho ends up losing the world title to Jack Swagger. And Jack Swagger is a Raw wrestler, right? No. You see, when the winner of the WrestleMania Money in the Bank cashes it in, let's say against the SmackDown World Champion, that means they automatically become a SmackDown superstar. They become part of the SmackDown roster. And the difference, again, that's the difference between the Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania and the Money in the Bank matches we see at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Because those are for brand Pacific matches. In other words, they take Kane for last night. Kane won the SmackDown Money in the Bank match, then what'd he do? He cashed it in on Rey Mysterio and became World Heavyweight Champion. Now, you might think, well, Kane could have automatically cashed it in against Sheamus or John Cena. No. No, you see, Kane cashed it in on Rey Mysterio because that was a SmackDown Pacific Money in the Bank match. And that was a SmackDown Pacific Money in the Bank briefcase. Just like with Miz winning the Raw Money in the Bank match, he can only cash it in on the WWE Championship. He can't jump ship to SmackDown and cash it in on Kane or whoever the world champion is. He can't do that. He can only do it against the WWE Champion of the Raw brand. And that, even though it might sound confusing for some of you that are new to it, is the difference between the Money in the Bank matches at last night's pay-per-view and the Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania, and why they are still going to keep the Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania, because that is one of the signature matches, and that's one of the signature interpromotional matches. And it's always exciting to see who wins and who's going to cash it in where. You see the difference there, and again, that's the difference. That's the difference. The Money in the Bank match, the winner of that at WrestleMania, the winner of the WrestleMania Money in the Bank match, has the right to challenge any champion, any world champion, either the WWE champion or the World Heavyweight champion. But the difference from that to this is that the winners of the two separate Money in the Bank matches can only cash it in on their brand's respective champion. They don't have the choice or the right to go to any other brand and challenge any other champion. They don't. So that's the biggest difference. But that's all I'm going to say. I hope that, hopefully, some of you that may have been a little worried that, Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania would be gone forever, don't worry about that. It's not going to happen. It's still going to be there. It's one of the signature matches. But hopefully that cleared up a few things. I hope I wasn't too confusing, and I'll talk to you all later.